What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name is Kyle. In this video, it's August 2nd. We have a football game tomorrow evening. We're going to do our weekly live ESPN mock draft here. We got a few friends in the chat with us. They're going to be drafting. We got Harris. Where did Harris end up? Harris is in the 6th spot, and Chase looks like Chase is going to be in the 1 spot. Good evening to both of you guys. Hope you all are doing well. And I'm going to hop into a screen share here, and we'll get the ESPN lobby pulled up. I'm drafting from the 10th spot. This is a 12-man PPR league, and we're just going to do a little zoom in here. I've already done a bunch of mock drafts. There's a playlist that I'm going to comment if you're watching this non-live. I'm going to put it in the comments. You guys can check out the playlist. Tons of mock drafts for you guys to sift through if you know your spot, you know your draft order or whatever. Go ahead and take a peek at that draft. But today we're doing the 10. I put Saquon Barkley on the cover of the thumbnail. So we're going to try and do a draft that gets Saquon Barkley. And yeah, I'm excited. Chase's first draft with us on the live stream. He's drafting from the 1. Looks like Harris is in the 6, and I will be drafting from the 10. So we'll see what we can do. We'll turn that sound down. Full PPR, the draft is officially underway, and it looks like Justin Jefferson gets ran in there by Chase. No arguments over here. And then I do want to say, if you guys are new to the fellowship, definitely like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. We just hit 800 subscribers yesterday here, so that was pretty cool. And now we're just in the thick of August, man. We're going to be doing mock drafts the rest of the way, tons of short videos and things. I'm going to probably do some more training camp highlight videos or some more training camp news videos for you guys. And then, yeah, man, we just got to get through these couple preseason weeks, and then we'll be drafting our redraft teams here. So I'll recap the first overall few picks here. Justin Jefferson goes number 1. Let me go to Jamar Chase, number 2. CMC, Eckler, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill goes to Harris. And we missed on Saquon Barkley at 7. And yeah, I mean, it's hard not to take Justin Jefferson with the first pick. He's probably in the past, we would take a running back with the first overall pick, right? But this year's a little bit different. So JJ is the man. Jamar Chase, again, number 2. I like both those wide receivers quite a bit. Bijan Robinson, we miss him at 8. So this is going to be interesting. We're on deck right now. Cooper Kupp's going to fall a little bit. He's nursing a hamstring issue. They didn't really put out a lot of news on the hamstring. They just said he's going to be out for a few weeks. So Stephon Diggs actually goes ahead of Cooper Kupp right now. So if you're drafting, it's August 2nd right now. If you're drafting August 24th or something and Cooper Kupp's good to go, there's good reports, go ahead and take Cooper Kupp here at 10 because that's going to be a steal. I think just to be different with this mock draft, I planned on taking a running back here. I'm just going to take Derrick Henry. I don't feel great about it. So, F it. I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to grab the Dallas Cowboys stud wide receiver. I'm nervous about Henry just being another year older. The Titans offense is not super exciting. The offensive line has issues. We'll see. And then, yeah, I probably should have just taken Cooper Kupp because I have a feeling in 2 or 3 weeks from now, we're just going to be taking Cooper Kupp back in the top 5. So the one thing that does worry me, he is 30 years old. I traditionally like to take younger picks with my first rounders because I'm going to be relying on these guys for the full season here. So at 10, I'm cool with CeeDee Lamb here. I would have loved to get Amon-Ra St. Brown. It looks like Cooper Kupp went after me, Henry, Amon-Ra, and Nick Chubb. So we have CeeDee Lamb. Jonathan Taylor is there. Devontae Adams is there. Garrett Wilson, Josh Jacobs, A.J. Brown. There's a lot of interesting players here on the board for us. Questions on Jonathan Taylor for sure. Devontae Adams, wouldn't mind grabbing him as my wide receiver too. Let's go ahead and try it. And I have not been super excited about I just have not been excited about the Raiders this whole offseason. It's been one thing after another. I mean, Devontae Adams was frustrated. Jimmy Garoppolo had the foot thing, and now he's finally back in camp. But then Josh Jacobs continues to hold out. So I don't really like the vibe there in Las Vegas, but I like Devontae Adams' game. Devontae's a really good receiver. I'm getting him here as my wide receiver too, and that's potentially 2 top 5 receivers. I feel good about both Lamb and Devontae being top 10. So we'll see what happens, but Devontae Adams and CeeDee Lamb to start for me. After I take Devontae, you see Josh Jacobs, Garrett Wilson, Tony Pollard, and then Harris grabs A.J. Brown to pair with his Tyreek Hill. So I like that. Good pick there, Harris. And then Jonathan Taylor finally off the board, pick number 20. I think, again, it really depends on when you're watching this video and when you're drafting your redraft leagues. I think for now, it doesn't really matter as long as you're not drafting your actual team until 2-3 weeks. We'll get more information on Jonathan Taylor, but for now, I don't really want him on my team. I'm uncertain about his want to be there, and then he's also got this back thing that's been reported. He's had a couple injuries over his career. Maybe you're just better off taking a guy like Tony Pollard in his range. So we'll see. I'm probably going to let Jonathan Taylor fall. I do really like the Colts running offense, though. I think Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson could be a really fun duo, kind of like what we saw Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders do last year. But anyways, after JT at 20, we see DK Metcalf, Jalen Waddle, and Devonta Smith, and we got Chase on the clock here. Chase is drafting. He's got Justin Jefferson on the squad, and we'll see what he pairs here at the 2-3 turn. There's probably some good players on the board here. He grabs T. Higgins. Can't complain with T. Higgins. And then, this is kind of a weird round, I guess a weird turn now, because we're pushing up a lot of the receivers. You're looking at some guys that are injured. Breece Hall, Travis Etienne's a good player. But Harris makes Team Chase makes the right picks. He goes with T. Higgins and Chris Olave. That's probably exactly what I would have done. You want to grab those wide receivers there. So I like it. I do a lot of my best ball drafts. And I think in ESPN, man, they do start 2 wide receivers and you get 1 flex. So you're starting all 3 of those guys. We'll find running backs later in the draft. I'm a big fan of the 3 straight wideouts to start the draft. And you got 3 damn good ones. You got 3 potential top 12 wide receivers. So I like the start. After Olave and Higgins, you see Breece, Ramondre, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, and then Harris with another great pick. He gets Mark Andrews, who, essentially, if you don't get Kelsey, you want Mark Andrews on your team, because then there's another drop-off to TJ Hawkinson, and then there's another drop-off to all the other guys like Waller and Goddard and Kittle and Pitts. But I'm coming around to Mark Andrews being a guy that I want on my fantasy teams for sure. Keenan Allen just went off the board. I'm up in a couple picks. And man, I guess we're going to be curious to see what running backs you can snag later. But as the draft goes on, man, I find a lot of value in the running backs in like the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th round for sure. And having those 3 stud receivers gives you a nice advantage there. But I'm up to pick. I got CD and Devonta. I'm going to grab one of my favorite players, and that is Jahmyr Gibbs to be my starting running back. I could take Jalen Hurts. He's kind of dipping here. His ADP is 28. I'm at pick 34, but I'm going to grab Jahmyr Gibbs because I want him on all my PPR teams. I think he's a top 10, top 12 caliber running back in full PPR formats. This year does feel different. It feels different. How you feel about Bijan? My man, Ty, thanks for hanging out. I'm actually probably one of the guys that will tell you to take Bijan at 6. These are my projections, and I actually have Bijan as my 6th ranked player. And when I load up my projections in the flex tab, and it shows me wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends, it's Bijan Robinson at 6. So I'm pretty excited about both rookie running backs, my man. If you can get both on your team, Bijan's going to be a top 3, top 5 running back. We know that. The only questions with Bijan is how much is he going to get catching the ball, which all the training camps, man, all the hype and training camp videos out of Atlanta are saying he's going to be a really good pass catcher. He's juking out cornerbacks. He's juking out linebackers. They want to get him the ball in space, and I'm all aboard the rookie running backs. If you can get both of them on your team, I think you're going to have a really fun year. And I think this is the year where you want youth on your side at the running back position. So Bijan, Gibbs, there's a lot of second-year running backs. And I'm looking at a second-year running back here in Dameon Pierce, who it feels kind of high for Dameon Pierce here personally. But I'm not super excited about Debo in a full PPR. He's more of a half PPR standard guy. I like Amari Cooper, but this one's tough. I don't see anyone really sticking out here. I'm just going to grab Dameon Pierce. I haven't grabbed him a lot, but I started 2 wide receivers. I come back with 2 running backs. I'm actually pretty high on Dameon Pierce. He's one of my top-rated running backs. I actually have him as my 28th highest ranked player in my running back rankings. I have Dameon Pierce as a low-end RB. He's a low-end RB1. I have him as RB12 in my projections here. So I'll grab him. And I think everyone's coming around to Bijan. Just the dude, he might not be the number 1 overall running back, but he can be if he stays healthy, because we're not sure if CMC is going to stay healthy. We're not sure if Eckler's going to stay healthy. Bijan's got youth on his side. He's on a team that's going to run the hell out of the football. So I'm I am pretty excited about what Bijan can do in this offense. I mean, Tyler Algier was a freaking 1,000-yard back last year, so it should be a pretty fantastic season for Bijan. But after I took Gibbs, you see Jalen Hurts, ETN, Najee Harris, and Jerry Jeudy go. I did collect Dameon Pierce. I'm kind of okay with Rachaad White in full PPR, but I don't like him as a fourth-round pick. I like the Calvin Ridley pick here. I'm even okay with DeAndre Hopkins if you need a wide receiver. It looks like Harris grabbed Amari Cooper, and I like that. Harris and I have talked about Amari Cooper, and Harris gets him as his flex, which feels, I mean, that's a pretty good spot for Cooper because I feel good. I feel good with Cooper as a wide receiver too. And then when you can get the value of him as your wide receiver 3 or flex, I mean, that's going to be one of the better flexes, in your league. So that's a really good start there. Harris has Tyreek, AJB, Mark Andrews, and Amari Cooper. And then we're going to go take a peek at Chase's team. Chase is, again, picking from the 1 spot. He's got the 48th and 49th picks coming up. So we'll see what he can do with these picks. And Deebo Samuel just went off the board. And Chase started 3 wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, and Chris Olave. We'll see if there's any running backs that he wants to tap here. And Miles Sanders off the board now. And let's see, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. So Chase is up. He grabs James Conner to be the running back 1. And I actually moved James. I don't know where you guys are at on James Conner. One, I don't think the Cardinals are going to be very good, but they got nobody else to give the ball to. And if he just stays healthy, like any week that Conner's healthy, we're probably going to rank him as like a top 10, top 12 back. So Chase is getting a pretty good value here. I actually moved James Conner up in my rankings today. I have him at RB16. I have him going for a little over 1,000 yards, about 300 yards receiving. So the touchdowns might not be in bulk this year, but the touches, I assume whenever James Conner's healthy, I assume he's going to get a handful of touches. So I like the James Conner pick. And then he double taps running back with Kenneth Walker, who Walker's sliding. People are seeing the question mark for his groin injury, which is that's the injury he had last year. But overall, I'm not too concerned. I see Kenneth Walker falling in best ball drafts right now into the 6th round, and I don't quite understand that. I know Kenneth Walker is a good running back. Like we've seen it. When he gets, his 15 to 20 touches, he's going to be in for a good fantasy outing, and he can take any carry to the house. So I like Chase's. Chase ended up pretty good. James Conner and Kenneth Walker. That's a heavy volume touch running back duo paired with your stud trio wide receiver. So good start to the draft there. Let me see what else we got. After Kenneth Walker, you see Chris Godwin, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Alexander Madison, and Cam Akers off the board. Harris grabs Cam Akers. I think that's his RB. Is that his RB1? That's his RB1, and that's interesting because Harris is a guy that likes to take running backs early. So he's I love it. I love to see him experiment and try different things. So Cam Akers as your RB1. I think at this point of the draft, it feels pretty good. Again, being 0 running back through 4 rounds, you kind of got to just take what you get sometimes. And I think Cam Akers, I mean, again, kind of like James Conner, there's nobody behind him. So to me, I think there's room for Cam Akers to be like a 15 to 20 touch guy each week. We don't expect the Rams to win a lot of games, but I expect them to be competitive for a decent amount. I'm on the clock again. I have Jahmyr Gibbs, Dameon Pierce at the running backs, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams at the wide receiver positions. PPR, it looks really good here. I can get Deontay Johnson, who I projected for a lot of points. I like Terry McLaurin. I like Mike Williams. Christian Watson's probably more of a half PPR standard guy for me, but I'm going to collect Deontay Johnson. I believe Deontay is my – let's see. So I got Deontay at wide receiver 29. I probably need to get him boosted a little bit. I have Mike Williams and Terry McLaurin ranked a little bit higher than him, but I'm all in on the Steelers offense. I think they're going to be productive. They somehow won 9 games and they were not good last year, but I think all the camp reports are pretty good for them right now. And yeah, Akers is like one of the guys, when you start a 0 running back build, Akers is kind of one of those ideal first guys that you're looking at. So I like the value there on Cam Akers. There's still some running backs that I like on the board. I might even pull one here. And I see a couple RB2s here left on the board here. So we'll see what happens. I took Deontay Johnson, then I missed on Darren Waller, which is a fantastic pick. I could have taken him just as easily over Deontay. I could have taken Terry McLaurin, who I like a lot, Mike Williams. I view Deontay, Terry, and Mike Williams. They're all kind of wide receiver 3s for me. They can be your wide receiver 2, but the value really looks good there as wide receiver 3. And then I missed my guy. One of my favorite sleepers right now is James Cook for the Buffalo Bills. I would have loved to put him on my bench, but oh well, I cannot do it. So I'm up to pick. I don't see a tight end here that sticks out. I do like Dallas Goedert though, so he's a guy that interests me a little bit here. I might just pull the trigger on him because I like Drake London, I like Ayuk, I like Christian Watson, but I'm gonna lock in my starting lineup here at tight end. I didn't want to miss tight end. The next round, I don't know who's going to be available, so I'll pull Dallas Goedert there. If I can't get Darren Waller, I'm targeting Dallas Goedert. Those are my favorite ones there. I'm not super in on George Kittle this year because I like Brandon Ayuk and I like a healthy Debo. I think it's going to be kind of like a whack-a-mole over there in San Francisco, so it's tough. But for me, Dallas Goedert sticks out. He's got some really good numbers. If you guys haven't taken a peek at his numbers from last year, the first 10 weeks when he was healthy, dude put up some pretty good numbers. You can see week 1, 9 points, 13, 11, 12, 17. Had a bad game with 4, but 12, 24, and 9. And then he got hurt. And then that's when Devontae Smith took off. So I'm a pretty big fan of Dallas Goedert. I think he's, if you can't get, it starts with Kelsey, then you go to Waller, or then you go to Andrews, then you go to Hawkinson, and then for me it's Waller and then Goddard. So those are the top 5 tight ends that I'm looking to draft this season. And absolute unit. Can you do a 12 team from the 3rd pick, or would you pick with the 3rd pick, or who would you pick? Yeah, I can do a mock draft with the 3rd pick, full PPR 12 team. Who would I pick with the 3rd pick? Who was the 3rd pick here? If you can get, you're probably not going to get Justin Jefferson at pick 3. If you can get Jamar Chase at pick 3, he's the ideal guy. But otherwise, you're looking square in the face at CMC and Austin Eckler. I have Austin Eckler just a touch higher in my projections than CMC. So for your 3rd overall pick, I'm assuming JJ's off the board. My rankings would be Jamar Chase, Eckler, CMC. Those would be the 3 guys that I'm looking at in that order. And yeah, I mean, it depends. If your philosophy is I want to take the best available running back, take Eckler or CMC. I'm fine with that. They're kind of all interchangeable, honestly. But I think Jamar Chase is in for a career season. So he's looking like one of my favorite picks in the top 5. But we're moving to the end of the 8th round or the 7th round. After I took Dallas Goedert, you see David Montgomery go. He's another one of my favorite picks here. Montgomery is one of those ideal running backs in a 0 running back build. If Harris could have got him paired with Cam Akers, that would have looked really good because I'm super excited about what David Montgomery can do. I think he's an upgrade over Jamal Williams in that offense. So pretty excited about Montgomery. He's not going to score 17 rushing touchdowns, but he could score 10, something like that. Marquise Brown, Christian Kirk's a great pick. Harris grabs Alvin Kamara here in the 6th round. We're hopefully hearing about his suspension either tonight or tomorrow. Maybe it's a 3 or 4 game suspension. We'll find out. But I'm starting to come around to Kamara being when you draft Alvin Kamara, it's easy to find a player that you can start for him for those suspended games, whether it's Jamal Williams, whether it's Samaje Perine. There's a couple other guys that make sense in that spot. So if you can find a way to cover Kamara's suspension, he's going to come to your team in October and be a fantasy asset for you. Isaiah Pacheco after Kamara, Kittle, Swift, Christian Watson, and then more great picks here by Chase. He grabs a falling Drake. I don't know why Drake London fell to the back end of the 6th round, but that's a great pick. And then he grabs Trevor Lawrence. And to me, that Trevor Lawrence is kind of the end of the QB1 tier. So it locks him into a potential top 5 QB. He's got his 2 running backs. He's got 4 stud wide receivers. Chase is looking pretty good with his build so far. Yeah, and those have been 3 of my favorite running backs. I thought for a minute I could get James Cook where he was going, but it looks like James Cook is going in the 6th round of ESPN. Yeah, he went 6.2. I thought he could make it to me. I would have probably taken Cook there at 6'3" if he was available. So I'm just hoping the hype doesn't get too out of control. And yeah, I would agree there, Chase. I think Watson's going to be a good QB this year with the rushing upside, but these guys are all kind of more, top 10, low end QB1s. Whereas Lawrence, the dude's still got some unknown ceiling. He's got some hidden upside yet. We don't really know how good he's going to be. I think you went with the right choice. London's going to be the dude for targets, and People often forget, but he was the first wide receiver taken last year over Garrett Wilson, over Chris Olave, over all the other guys there. So London on your bench as your wide receiver 4 is pretty gluttonous. That's a great value. Let's take a peek here. After Drake London and Trevor Lawrence went at the 6-7 turn, you got Dalvin Cook, which I'm not taking Dalvin Cook. I don't think there's anywhere he can sign that's going to make me want to take him as my RB2 or 3. JSN, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Ayuk, Harris grabs J.K. Dobbins, Pittman Jr., Deshaun Watson, and Kyle Pitts. I'm on the board right now. Let's see the best available players. Javonte, Thomas, Sutton, Cooks. I really like Treylon Burks there for a little while, but this looks like it's telling me to take wide receiver. Not sold on Michael Thomas. Brandon Cooks has been looking pretty good. I'm just going to collect. Well, I already have CeeDee Lamb. Fine. I'll take Jahan Dotson. We'll grab the second-year potential breakout wide receiver there for the Washington Commanders. I mean, I like Treylon Burks a lot too as a potential second-year breakout. Otherwise, I was maybe considering Brandon Cooks, but I do have CeeDee Lamb already on my team, so I don't really want the two wide receivers competing. But I feel pretty good about this turn. And I got Jahan, Deontay Adams, and Devontae Adams. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about Dotson. I think he's going to be a really good player, second-year breakout player. But I'm on the clock again, and there's some running backs available here. Dillon, Pirine, Robinson, Antonio Gibson. The receivers are fine. I mean, I could just put Treylon Burks on my bench. I like George Pickens a lot, but I already got Deontay Johnson. I don't know if I want to compete with that. So Thomas just can't stay healthy. Cortland Sutton's kind of, I'm just going to grab Treylon Burks here and put him on my bench. And I got some stud second-year wide receivers. I grabbed Jahan Dotson and Treylon Burks to put on my bench. CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, and Deontay Johnson. I got 5 pretty good wide receivers. Jahmyr Gibbs, Dameon Pierce at the running back spot. So we'll see if we can snag. I'm going to need to draft some running backs soon. And yeah, if you haven't noticed, I haven't drafted a QB yet. I'm kind of waiting. And if you've heard this before, I'm sorry, but my favorite in a 1-quarterback league, I play a lot of super flex, but in leagues where you only have 1 quarterback, I think I want to be the last guy to take a QB. I thought Chase did a pretty nice snag on Trevor Lawrence because he's kind of one of those guys that's like, he's going to be a top 7 QB. Like, we feel really good about that offense taking another step forward this year. It's basically year 2 of Doug Peterson, kind of year 2.5, year 3 of Trevor Lawrence. But they've just done some nice things there to make that team better. So I like Lawrence a lot, but after him, like, honestly, I'm cool with any of these dudes being my QB1, whether it's Daniel Jones, Tua, Rodgers, Geno, Russ, even Anthony Richardson. Just look at the difference in projections here from Russ to Daniel Jones. You got 269 points, 256, 268, 271, 273. These guys are the same quarterback. So at that point, I really don't care. I'm probably going to start to look more into the schedules and figure that out. But I mean, I could easily pull 2 of these guys here and be pretty good at the quarterback position. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. If you do not have a QB early, you want to wait for one at the end. And as we're moving into the 9th round now, I'll be with you in a little bit. Okay. Finishing up the 8th round here, let me review that real quick for you guys. After I took Treylon Burks, you see Michael Thomas, Samaje Perine, Evan Ingram, Kirk Cousins. Good value there on George Pickens. And Harris did what we were just talking about, waiting for QB. He grabs Kirk Cousins as his 1. Kirk's one of those guys that I like to get at the back end of drafts. He's free. Jacoby Myers, interesting pick in the top 100. David Njoku and Cortland Sutton. Let's see what Chase does at the 9-10, the 8-9 turn, essentially. And he grabs Antonio Gibson. Dang it, that was one of my picks. I was hoping he would fall to me. In full PPR, you want Antonio Gibson on your bench. And yeah, I think that's Chase's – that's his 3rd running back, so that's pretty good. Pretty good value there. I like Gibson a lot. I think he's going to catch upwards of 50 to 60 passes and be used enough as a runner. I mean, I still like Brian Robinson there, but in the full PPR format, I think Gibson's a guy that makes a lot of sense. And then Sky Moore, we grabbed the Chiefs starting slot receiver. Pretty good pull there from Chase. So he's having a good draft. He's got 5 wide receivers, 3 running backs, and Trevor Lawrence. We'll see what he figures out at tight end. Take a peek at Harris's team. Harris has Kirk Cousins, Cam Akers, Alvin Kamara, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Mark Andrews, Amari Cooper, and J.K. Dobbins. Hopefully we get J.K. Dobbins reporting to camp soon. I would imagine that if Dobbins gets into the camp and he's off the PUP list, he's probably going to move up draft board. So I'm excited about J.K. this year. Just need to see him before we buy him. Cole Kmet, Jeff Wilson Jr., there's Brian Robinson Jr. That's a good pick there. There goes Daniel Jones, Jordan Addison. Harris grabs a rookie wide receiver there for the Vikings. I like that pick. There's probably some good tight ends left on the board. I mean, at this point, you're probably going to have to grab two of these guys and figure it out. But with tight end, if I miss on them, I'm fine with punting and trying to, get two guys and see what happens. No, I'm in on the Sky Moore hype. I think Sky Moore is going to continue to move up draft boards. But I'm almost up to pick. I mentioned I do need some backup running backs. I only have Jahmyr Gibbs and Dameon Pierce. I'm probably not going to get A.J. Dillon. We'll see what the auto pick does. Yeah, he goes to the guy there. I can grab Jamal Williams. I can grab Rondale Moore, DJ Chark, any other running backs on here that make sense. I'm probably just going to collect Jamal Williams here to be my RB3. I feel good about him. Even when Kamara's healthy, Jamal's going to have a role in that offense, so he feels pretty good. Let's see if we get the quarterbacks. And again, everybody's weighted on QB. And you're telling me you're going to give me Tua Tagovailoa here to be my QB1? Any week that Tua is healthy, I'm starting him because we love that offense. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, the running game. Tua was a top QB last year, man. He put up some really nice numbers. He had some boom weeks, a 38, a 29, a 24. He does have a high, he's going to get you double digits every week. The couple games that he did get knocked out, of course, are there. But Tua's going to be slinging a lot of passes and a lot of yards this season. So I get Tua as my QB1. Go to the pick history and see where we're moving. Zay Flowers, I probably would have taken Zay Flowers if he had been there. The rookie wide receiver for the Ravens is moving up draft boards a good amount right now, so I like that pick a lot. Dalton Schultz, Kendre Miller moving up draft boards again too. He's a guy, again, I think now that we're in the double digits, I think it's a really good idea to put a rookie on your bench, whether it's a running back, wide receiver, tight end, even maybe you have a quarterback yet. We'll see. But Harris grabbed Jordan Addison. I got to grab a rookie wide receiver yet. And maybe even a rookie running back yet. After Kendre Miller, you see Jerick McKinnon, Khalil Herbert there. That's one of Harris's favorite pick. I think he gets him just as and to be real, like Khalil Herbert's one of those guys that you could start at your RB2 over Alvin Kamara while he's on suspension. So Harris built in a decent 4-man group of running backs right now. Akers, Kamara, Dobbins, and Herbert. We'll see what happens. We like his receivers. Needs just a little bit more receiver depth, I think, though. But it's coming together for Harris. Rondale Moore is one of the best picks of this round. Or not my bad. Elijah Moore is one of the best picks of the 10th round. I don't get why he's going so late. In the best ball drafts, dude's a 8th round pick, which seems pretty insane. Tremendous value there. A guy that I think can put up almost 70 receptions this year in full PPR. Pretty good value. Let's see what Chase does here. Take a peek at his squad. He just grabbed Greg Dulcich, the tight end 1 for the Broncos. And Dulcich made some camp plays today. I saw some good blurbs about him. I'm going to get out of here after this one. Wednesday nights, I do my ESPN live mock draft. But what I can do is if you have any mock drafts you want to do, let me know. I can always make a mock draft for you guys and upload that video later. But otherwise, Wednesday nights is the night that I stream the ESPN live mock draft. So we do it the same time every Wednesday. If you want to join us again next Wednesday, do it. Otherwise, I'm open to suggestions if you want a custom mock draft or anything like that. But Greg Dulcich and Nico Collins there for Chase at the 10-11 turn. Aaron Rodgers and Adam Thielen off the board. I think at this point, I have 4 spots left on my bench. And yeah, perfect, man. We'll see you in there. And what I do, so the lobby for ESPN, every 15 minutes, ESPN puts new lobbies out there. So for me, I'm Central Time, so 6 p.m. Central Time, I will upload the lobby link into the comments here, and you can click it there. Otherwise, if you hit me up on Twitter at the fellow KGB, I can always send it to you as well. But I'm on the clock right now, guys. They're giving me Jared Goff Why is Jared Goff still on the board? That's insane. Zay Jones, Damian Harris. I got 8 seconds real quick here. I'm going to grab Jalen Warren, just one of my favorite running backs to put on my bench. I needed another one. I could continue taking wide receiver here, but I'm going to grab Jared Goff should not be on the board right now. So I have Goff. I have Tua. I'm good at quarterback. I feel really good about that. 2 more picks left, and then we'll figure out the defense and the kicker with the last picks. Let's see what else we can dig here. I have 4 running backs, 5 wide receivers, a tight end. I probably just need 1 more each of running back and wide receiver to finish it, and we'll see what we can do. Go back to pick history here. All right, after I take Jared Goff, you got KJ Osborne. We're getting defenses auto-drafted off the board here, so Saints, one of my favorite defenses to grab this year. They have a pretty nice schedule to open the season. You have Miami Dolphins, Alan Lazard there by Harris, and then the Cowboys defense. Typically, I only play in one league that has defenses, so I kind of just make them my default last pick. If I need to pick a defense early, I mean, go with your Niners, your Bills, your Steelers, but I'm keying in on the Saints as a team to keep an eye on and make them one of your top selections. But we're moving into the 12th round. I think after these next 2 picks, I have to get going. I got to go help. I got to go get my dog back from the vet, guys. So I'm going to make these final 2 picks. We're going to get out of here for the evening. And then, yeah, every Wednesday evening, we will we'll do these again, 6 o'clock Central Time. We'll see what we can get here to finalize this draft. I'm going to take 1 more wide receiver, 1 more running back just to finish it up. There's some good rookies available here. I don't mind babysitting Zach Charbonnet, even Devon Achane, Rashawn Johnson, Tajay Spears. These guys are all good players that I wouldn't mind collecting on my bench. Wide receivers here, I mean, I think Romeo Doubs should be drafted. Rashee Rice should be drafted. I don't really want to pull Kadarius Toney, but he's interesting. Rashad Bateman's also interesting. I'm probably going to grab one of Dobbs or Rashee Rice just because I think they have some hidden upside there. But again, let's finish up this draft, and yeah, we're going to have a good rest of the summer doing these Wednesday night ESPN mock drafts. And hey, if you guys like the video, subscribe if you are new. That would help tremendously. We just hit 800 subscribers yesterday, so I appreciate it. We'll make these final 2 picks and get out of here for you guys. Oh, yeah, good call. Bigsby and Marvin Mims. Are they even on the list? Or did you grab them already? Yeah, you drafted them. I'm gonna grab the rookie running back, Charbonnet. I know he's injured right now, but I think he'll be fine. And then I'm gonna sign off here with my final pick. We're gonna grab Romeo Doubs. We'll see what happens. But that's it for me, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me this evening. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see you guys in a video real soon. Peace.